Alright guys, so I said I would record this video. This is gonna be it. It's a long story because there's so much. This has transpired over like 7 days and there's like backstory to it, blah blah blah. Anyways, anytime anyone steals from our shop, we usually let social media just decimate those people, and we just use this power of social media to find the people, because the motorcycle community is so small that anytime someone shows up on a bike, it's usually pretty easy to find them. We've caught, I don't know, 3 or 4 people and use social media for other theft stuff, but they never get away. Thieves are dumb. It is what it is. I don't like them. So anyways, when we realized that they were stolen, when we found that the gloves were stolen, I hit up the guy who works Saturdays. His name's Paul, one of our employees. And I'm like, Paul, this dude stole from us, blah, blah, blah. Do you remember him? And he's like, yeah, I remember him. He called. I'm like, what? What do you mean he called? He's like, yeah, a guy called about the face mask that I sold. Like, I sold that guy a face mask, and it was like super distinct, had like skulls on it or something weird. And Paul's like, yeah, that dude called. I'm like, oh man, this is perfect. So we go to our phone systems, which are all recorded. We record everything that's coming in, going out, everything. We chop through phone calls around the time this guy stole, a little bit before. Boom, we find the guy's. He called us and was like, do you have these face masks? We're going to pay the clip. Because first off, the guy's a little freaking weird. And when we told him that we had like skull face masks, he like literally got a hard on. It was a little freaking weird.
RPM?
Okay, this is kind of a crazy idea, but it might be cool. Do you guys have, when you're dirt bike riding, you wear masks and stuff, right?
Or a helmet?
I'm thinking it might be... Or, yeah, a helmet, but also, don't you guys have, like, these cool-looking masks for motorsports?
Yeah, we have some face masks.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about for COVID, right?
Yeah, why not?
Coronavirus. I hear you, man, and I'm sure you got some cool ones, right?
So we got a few of them. Just your normal black, of course, and then got one with a little bit of skull work on it.
Yeah, shit like that. What? How much are those?
They run from about $10 to $15.
Mhm. Yeah, and you only have like a couple different kinds. You got black.
Mainly, what it looks like is we have black, and then the one with the skull on it.
Mhm.
Looks like we recently
sold
the others.
So, like, how many do you have? I might get one.
For the normal black, quite a few. And then we only have one with the skull.
Okay.
And then he came in and fucking stole them. So that's how we have the guy's name. We have his phone number. But I need to put his name or phone number or him to this SUV. This dude, he shows up in a Nissan Murano, but it has like obviously, you'll see it in the pictures. I'll drop the picture right here. Is it Nissan Murano with like an evident like skull badge down the back rear quarter of it on both sides. When he showed up, he had a license plate on the SUV. The cameras couldn't quite catch it. Like, it was kind of like oddly dirty license plate, and obviously it didn't belong to the car. We'll find that out later on. He shows up Saturday. They're pretty busy, so like, we don't get to babysit the cameras, which, by the way, just a heads up, we have a very legit camera system. For people to come in here, and like, there's just cameras everywhere in our shop, just because like I have like this like weird fetish for security systems. So anyways, it's stupid. Like, I can't believe they walk in and like they see all these cameras and they're like, oh, I'm gonna steal. What a great idea. These people will never catch me. No, we will, and you're an idiot also. Long story short, grabs like a face mask for like riding, pays for it, but steals a set of gloves. When he takes a set of gloves, he leaves a tag behind. We come out on like Tuesday or Wednesday, and we're doing inventory, and we notice there's a set of gloves, like a tag there, with no gloves. Usually the gloves fall to the ground because you can like take them off, try them on. Couldn't find them. So I'm like, what the heck? Our camera was like really hard angle because we have so many gloves on our wall over there. These gloves kind of sat back behind some other gloves. Luckily, one of our cameras was just barely able to see the tag. So what we do is we cut the video back like 10 days, and we're like, were the gloves there? Oh heck, the gloves are there. We go back forward 4 days. Oh, the gloves are still there. Let's go back 3 days, from the time this happened. Oh wow, the gloves are gone. So now we cut back and forth, bam. You catch the guy touching the gloves. You watch him from like 20 different cameras that we have in here, and whoop, he takes the gloves. So that's that. That's when we go to social media with that. Go to social media with it, and it's about, I think 2 or 3 days. Our one of our customers and a buddy, Alex, hits a Facebook thing, and he's like, hey, I found the car in my apartment complex. They've been coming and going. It's 100% the car, no license plate on it. So he came in, he had a license plate. No, he doesn't. That's a little odd. I'm like, dang it. I'm like out of town. Like not out of town. I'm like, I will see this SUV tonight, believe me. But I'm like towing a trailer that has our Can-Am X3 on the back. So I'm not exactly like sneaky with this thing behind me. I didn't care anyways. So somebody else on social media, our buddy Cody's kind of a big dude, and he don't play around. So Cody's like, I'm more than happy to go out there and investigate this SUV. This is like, I don't even know it, 8 o'clock at night. It's dark out. Cody hops in his whip, drives out to this dude's apartment, finds the SUV, more than happy to get out, ain't even trying to be shy about it. Pretty much takes a selfie with the car, snags the VIN number off of it, takes a couple pictures of the car, and that was that. We thought about leaving like a business card or something for RPM, but we decided not to. And I immediately started hitting up some buddies that have connections, maybe not the police department. And I'm like, dude, this car's in Nebraska, no license plate. Here's the VIN number. Let me know what you can find. Nothing pulls up in Nebraska. The car's never been registered in the state of Nebraska. We're like, what the frick? So the car's kind of like a ghost. I can't put this guy's name to the SUV. I swing through the apartment complex towing our X3, bright orange, RPM Power Sports down the side of it. I couldn't find the SUV, but I didn't look very hard either. And I go home. Social media is kind of popping right at this point because we found the SUV. People are like, oh my God, we're going to catch him. And nothing happens for a few days. So I'm like, man, should I call this guy and try to like bait him? Tuesday. So Monday, we're pretty busy at the work. COVID-19 has not slowed us down one bit. So I'm back there slaving until like, I don't even know, midnight or something crazy in the shop working. Like my hands got dirty. It was a horrible time. So I go home, and we're not just a brick and mortar store. We got a big e-commerce presence. So I go home, start smoking on the e-commerce stuff, working on some manufacturing deals, and before I know it, it's like 5 a.m., 6 a.m. before I even go to sleep. I'm tired. I have to go deliver a UTV the next day and pick up another UTV and bring them in. I have no intentions on being to work on time, which, by the way, we open at 10 a.m. So that very rarely does that happen. Extremely rare. I'm always late, but always here by 10 a.m. So 10 a.m.-ish rolls around, and I've already been talking to Chris on the phone. You guys are going to meet Chris in a minute. He's a dude with the beautiful golden mullet. He hits me up talking about like just some work stuff. He's my business partner, so it was nothing like, we were just talking. Anyways, he shoots me a text message almost immediately as he hangs up the phone. It's like 10:07, right? And he's like, look who's back. And he sends me a picture from the security system of the SUV and this tool bag, like outside, presumably coming into the shop. And I'm like, oh, he's here to pay, thinking that like social media caught up to him just like it always does, and he's gonna pay us. And Chris says, yep. And what Chris meant by that was like, yep, hopefully. But what I took it as is, yeah, he's here to pay. So I'm like, well, that's anticlimactic. I wanted to see the guy get speared out our front door, and that didn't happen. At this point, I think it's time for Chris to tell his story, because this is when he stole for the second time. This dude stole again. Chris, bring that beautiful mullet over here and tell your freaking story. All right, sit in this chair. Okay. All right. So hold on. We gotta start with. I don't think I missed anything on my end. I was pretty thorough.
It sounded like it.
Come here. Come here. All right. Hold on a second. God,
He pulls up. it's just why would he pull up again? We sent one of our other employees up front, talk to him. He just came in acting normal. He came in chit-chatting a little bit, and he really just was like a normal customer, like nothing had ever happened before, like last weekend. He came in, looked at some gloves, I think, looked at some face masks, and then we got Aaron, seen him snag some face masks
On the cameras.
Grabbed 2 of them. Walked over to the corner, opened his jacket, like big time, like he opened it.
He had like a day and a half trench coat. It was a big coat.
He opened it, and you could totally see him stuff him in, and then just closed it up and started walking.
So we're gonna pause there for a sec. Anytime someone steals, when you're on our side of the business, you can't just like accuse someone of stealing. So Aaron sees him steal, tells Chris. Chris has to quickly go verify, like, yes, he absolutely 100% put something in his coat pocket. We've never actually caught someone stealing in our store. It always like we review the camera footage later and be like, oh, he stole, but he's already gone for 10 minutes. So you gotta be really careful. You can't just go accuse random people like you stole. They opened their coat and they didn't. That's gonna be a little awkward for us. So
all right. So I run back up to my computer, jump onto the cameras. I like log in, click on it, and it takes me to the exact point where he grabbed them. So that was just
skills.
Skills.
It's the bullet.
And so I just right there, I see him grab him, see him put him in his jacket. I'm like, wow,
This is crazy. He stole again.
Are you kidding me? So I come down here. Our other employee Jordan, he's talking to him, just answering normal questions about face masks. He was talking to him about face masks. And then I come down, like walking around, checking inventory. And then he talks to me about face masks.
This dude likes face masks a lot.
So have you been in here before? He goes, yeah, I was in here last week. And I go, oh yeah, you look familiar. He goes, yeah, I was in here last week and I bought some gloves.
That's bullshit! He stole the gloves! He stole them! Sorry.
Okay.
Continue with your story.
And then I'm like, okay.
He bought the face mask,
Okay.
He stole the gloves last week.
True. So I'm like, all right. I just let him go on. Keep talking.
Making me mad thinking about it. Made me want to spear a guy out our front door.
So he tells me he bought some gloves last week, and I'm like, cool. And then he's like, yeah, I was looking, and he brings me back over to the face masks, and he's like pointing at them about, hey, I was looking at these ones, I was looking at those ones. And I'm like, all right, that's cool. And then I said, what about the ones in your pocket?
That's beautiful.
And he goes, I don't even have any pockets. He shows me his jacket.
Kind of like opens his jacket. Yeah. It'll be in the video. It's like, eat.
And I'm like, all right, well, would you mind like just opening your coat? And he just, like this. He just opens his coat like this. He's like, that's all I got. I'm like, well, okay. Would you want to like take your jacket off for me just so we can verify, just clear the air? And he's like, why would I do that? I'm not gonna do that for you. And
he backs up a little.
And then he comes around. We got like an island of helmets, and then so we're kind of split. And then at that point, yeah,
takes off.
Just sprints towards the door.
He's not in favor of the door. Chris at this point is actually in favor of the door. So Chris is actually closer, like a straight line to the door. This guy has to like go around.
So I was gonna meet him at the door, and we were gonna talk about it.
You catch the guy at the door, and he falls outside.
A little bit, yes, he does fall. And then we hit the masks fall out of his coat or his waistband or
stuff everywhere
or wherever.
All our stuff.
And then so we're just
We're
just kind of wrestling, and I'm trying to just detain him till the cops get there.
This dude is like, do you know how tall he was? He was
5'11".
He's 5'11", 220 pounds. This dude's done time in prison. He's all tatted up. Not that makes him any tougher, but he ain't a small guy. You're going to see it in a clip. Let's drop the clip right here. That's Chris getting picked up by this guy while another dude is cranking on his arm. Like, the guy ain't small, but he's clearly out of shape. The dude's 35 years old. Mofo, you look like you're 50, okay? he had us like, when we're trying to like figure out who he was, it was hard to like pin him because we're like, the dude looks like he's 50. I thought he was 55. I found a guy who owns a house with the same name here in Nebraska that was 55 years old. I'm like, that really got to be him. No, the dude's 35. He's got the roughest 35 years of life that I've ever seen. Oh, yeah. So, like, they wrestle around for a little bit, and then who's seen... The best part of all of this is, like, Aaron is still on the phone.
He's answering
Aaron's
customer
still taking
calls.
He's on the phone with customers.
He's a good employee.
We don't miss a beat here at RPM, okay? They're the finest employees we got. He literally is on the phone and he's like, oh yeah, let me check on that real quick while Chris is like wrestling a dude outside he just stole from us. And anyways, the cops have been called. The cops got called pretty well immediately after you guys took it outside.
Exited. Yeah. At one moment, like
Towards the end.
it's towards the end, he starts yelling some girl's name. And I look at the car, there's somebody in the car. In the front seat, she's got headphones on. Like, not paying attention at all. Like, she didn't know what was going on for the first 5 minutes.
Totally oblivious.
Outside of her car.
Yeah.
And then she gets out, eventually, and then she's like asking what happened. She was just trying to help him, I think.
Yeah.
He was saying, get these guys off of me, shove them off, and like, let's go. Like,
let's go.
she was like, what did he steal? And can I pay you? And can we just leave? And I was like,
no,
I'm sorry. The cops have already been called.
That ain't how we roll here at RPM.
You gotta stay here. If we can't just pay and leave, he's gonna do time. He's gonna do like 20 years or something.
He's gonna do
she
20
knows
years.
that he's got something out for him. Like, he's got warrants or something.
Yeah. So that's when we cut to back to me arriving again. I show up, and it's like the end of it. The first thing I do is like whip out my camera and I walk up to this dude who's like, by the way, at this point, the cops and like everybody's there. He's faking like, oh, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Well, dude, that's because you're 220 out of shape. Maybe it's time for this next round of jail for you to get in some shape. I walk up to him and I was like, I just want to let you know that you're the biggest POS I know, and everybody on social media knows you're POS. And at this point, the cops are like, all right, yeah, you got to get going. And I was like, I'll be at your court date, buddy. Arrest the guy. At the same time, they kind of like unintentionally block in the SUV. And when everything starts to clear out, the ambulance is gone with Bad Boy, and some other cops dissipate a little bit. The main cop is starting to get into his car, and like, obviously gonna let this lady go. She has no place on her car. And I go out there and I was like, hey, she's still out of her car. I said, hey, the cop's got his window down. He's like literally like halfway in his car, like making sure that like I'm not gonna do something. So he's kind of like not getting his car. He's kind of on guard still. She's right there. I said, what happened to the license plate that was on this car 7 days ago when you were here? And she goes, that wasn't even my stolen license plate. And the cop's like, ears perked up, like, what? Excuse me? And he's like, yeah, license, registration, proof of insurance. But long story short, she did have paperwork on this. Jake Sully from Sully's Towing is already on scene. Jake's Towing was here like before the Wambulance got here. They were ready to tow that SUV out of here. And yeah, he lets her go. He pulls into the neighbor's lot and comes back over and is like, yo, this is what's up. I'm like, what's up with this dude? Who is he? What's his name? Gives me his name. Apparently this dude has got warrants from like every direction. So kind of fast forward, rewind back to he's gonna do 20 years. That's because, boom, tell him what his warrants are for.
I don't even know. Okay.
2 felonies in Nebraska.
There's a couple felonies in Nebraska, yep. Warrants for
one in Iowa.
A couple. Yeah, there's one in Iowa or Pottawatomie County.
Was he a sex offender? Let's clear the air. Was he doing bad things with young people?
I could not find that.
The cop had insinuated that he was, his registered address was one of like the homeless shelters, and he said that sometimes these people do that when they're sex offenders, and that maybe he made it sound like one of his warrants for a sex offender deal. But he said he had warrants in like all over, not just Nebraska and Iowa. Yeah. We couldn't find anything. Regardless, this dude's got what we think is 3 felony warrants of some sort. We're not exactly sure what they're for. If he is a sex offender, that goes to show that he's even more of a POS than we thought, because F them people. Like, F them anyways, but F them if he's, you know, a sex offender for sure. That's it. I mean, yeah. F
Yeah.
bad people.
Yeah, that was it.
You got him. You lived every security guard's dream.
It was good. It was a good day. It was a good day.
Dang, I wish I'd have been there. We had mentioned it. If I'd have been there, I don't think it would have got to the point of like wrestling outside because I'm more like straight to the point. I'd have confronted him right away.
As soon as he came in the door.
As soon as he opened the door would have been locked. I'd been like, it's go time.
You here to pay me for the gloves?
You here to pay for them fucking gloves? He'd been like, what are you talking about?
That's right.
You guys played the cool
just
path,
let
let
him-
him steal again, and
Just
caught
let him
him.
do what he wants to do, and then yeah, he stole again, and that's
He stole twice. What the frickin' A? How do you find these people? What kind of customers do you let in your store, Aaron?
All of them. You can all come. Just don't steal. I will record it.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the story.
I think that's our story. That's a wrap.